It's Dion Shankso, and today I'll be demonstrating my website based on the demonstration questions provided. So the first one was the homepage. You wanted to know if I could show them where the about section is and point out the latest image uploads. Do you change if we add a new image to the database? So this is basically my welcome section. Welcome them to the website. This is the recent posts where I show the last three most recent posts along with the title and a description of the image. Now, it should update when I add image. So to that, I'll just go into my database, page from my admin. I'm going to PhotoShare. I'm a post database. I'll add a going to insert and add a new one. So I'll just hit the post title. Um, and the post image. So this is where I'll just create the image and I put it in this in my image folder beforehand so that the database just has to come in here and retrieve it. So I'll be the image name and a description would be rock city aerial shot and the location will be New York and the timestamp would be created automatically. And with that it should have a new one post and once I click refresh aerial post of New York City. Yeah, so it updates. So now moving on to the second question was if to use my navigation menu to click through every page and see if the site is still organized and readable if we disable CSS. So here's my gallery, here's our new homepage and contact us page. It's a relatively simple website. So if I disable the CSS, I'll just come into my folder where everything, go to CSS and change the file name. And if I come back and refresh, should change. Not changing. So probably just the website getting trouble. Image we're going back in. I take this off. Going back here. Google post. And this is what it look like if you take off the CSS. Navigation search menu. The search bar navigation menu and the sign up button. Everything will just be vertical if I take off the CSS. All the images would be at full length. The still display the text. It'll still display three images. The code, the functionality is not based on the CSS at all. So everything still looks presentable. Everything would still work. It just wouldn't look the same. You know? So I'm gonna go back and reapply the CSS. Well, no, it won't look the same, it just won't look as clean. So now the gallery for question 3. So click on the photo title and does it successfully take us to a separate post detail page and to show you that all the details, location, description, date are visible there. Well, if you go in the gallery, I click on the title, you get the image title, the image itself, the description, the location, post it, and the person who posts the image should be Kevin Marley along with the profile picture. Now for question 4, the registration test. So you want me to create a new member right now using the form and use a unique email address. After I hit the submit, they want to see where the new person appears in my PHP my admin database table. So I'm going to sign up button here, type in the name, Samantha Brooks, uh, at gmail.com, email, this one. And then I choose a new profile picture, Samantha, and her interest would be wildlife, and I hit register, and it brings me back to the home page. And if I go into my database and go into my PHP, my admin, and login in the Photoshop database under the members table, we should see Samantha Brooks. Samantha Brooks right here. So she was added to the database. Good. Okay, so now we're moving on to the next part, the database structure. Number 5. So they want me to open my PHP, my admin, and show my members and post tables. And why is the member ID set out? So well, this is my members table, and this is my post table. And if we're going back to the members table, the members ID is set out to implement so that every time the person registers, they'll get a new ID that is higher than the last one. So like if somebody else registers now, they'll get the number ID 10. This is so that it doesn't repeat any number that was here before. So that this table will remain unique for the entire database. And that's basically it. So whenever somebody registers, they just get a new ID that wasn't repeated before. That's higher than the last one. So like if somebody registers now, they'll get 10, and somebody registers after that, they'll get 11. And continue increasing as more people register into the database and get more members on the website. So for number 6, folder organization, open my root project folder, and why did I put my images in an image folder and my CSS in a CSS folder instead of reading everything in one big file? Oh, you open this and come to my root folder right here. This will be everything here. The index and my CSS will be in here, images will be in the image folder, and my PHP will be in my PHP folder. This is done due to separation of concerns and to keep things tidy as the database, as this folder keeps increasing in size. So if I write another HTML page, it'll put it in here, right? If I add an image, it'll come in here. If a person reached out and after a profile, the image would be stored in here. A PHP would all be stored in here, and so on. Just keeps things organized and tidy. So and I'll know exactly where they are depending on what file I'm looking for. CSS just come here, HTML, and so on and so on. So the next question is the SQL connection. Then to show the exact line of PHP code that connects my website to my SQL database, and what is the host name and database name I used. So if you go in my code, again, this will be the host name, and this will be database name. The exact line of code that connect my website to my SQL database would be this one, the MySQL connect. And if it doesn't connect, if you connection error and display the error message as to why it didn't connect. So now moving on to the next part. So for the form logic in my registration form code, they want to they want me to show the name attribute for the full name input field, while PHP use specific name to grab the date, uh, the data. Well, for this, I didn't really use a full name field. I used two fields, one for first name and one for last name, as you would have seen before. This was to make it easier when transferring to the database, since that also has two columns, one for first name and one for last name. So the PHP gets data using the name and the number 7 underscore post method. You put in here of the field and you'll grab the data from the field and storing it in this variable here. Once I use the same variable in the SQL command code, once the query runs, it'll store the data from the first name field in the database under the first name table column. That's the thing. First name column in the members table. The get versus post version 9 to look at my phone tag and why I use the method post for registration instead of get. What would happen to the user data in the URL bar if we switch to get? Well, if we switch this post here to get in the URL bar, all the person's data would be displayed. They'll be able to read it in the address bar, which isn't exactly something that we want to happen as it could be exposed in a way. So you see post methods that it doesn't well get displayed in the URL bar. They'll just send it directly to the database and keep it hidden from the URL. So for number 10, the silent secrets, where I get my navigation list to quick menu bar and to show the specific CSS rule if in your external start sheet I removes the bullet points from the unordered list. Well, one thing I didn't use unordered list, I just used the nav links. So I just used this. So I didn't have to worry about removing any bullet points. I just had to style this according. So I removed the text decoration, add some padding so they'd be distance from each other, and change the text color to black. So in my file, I use the nav selector to get the exact links, and I I my I just did it accordingly. And I use the nav selector to align it to the center. So moving on to the next part, which will be the W3C validation. I'm going to open my docs folder and show my HTML validation screenshot. If the validator found a missing alt attribute on an image, how would I fix that in my code? Well, if we go in my folder and we go into docs, this will be my validation proof. So once I open this, it will display all the validations that I did. Now, well, the screenshots of the validations that I did. This will be my index validation from the main page. I get a warning and some errors. Nothing I really broke the code. Just something I'll make it better. This will be my styles. Well, this is the validation for my style CSS. This is for the registration of the HTML, the input file, by image, we actually accept element input, and UTF-8. Nothing really basic code, just things that better. Moving on, we can talk about PHP and zeros and this of PHP. If you go to here, you'll see all my image validations for every page in my folder. Every HTML, CSS, and PHP page. So now is how would I fix the missing alt attributes in my code? Well, just go into VS Code, go to wherever it is, where it be gallery, index, and I'll go to image file, and then just add the alt attribute, and in the alt attribute, I'll just run this, put this PHP code for the display the post title if the image doesn't work. So I'll be open question mark equal is special does row post title and close it off. And that is basically how I'd be missing all that route. I did that for both my gallery and my registration. If I remember correctly, I also did it in all page, right? All page as well. So I did in all my images, I add an alt attribute. So for the next question, the comments and citation. Show the section of my PHP code and if can I explain what my comments are describing. Also, if I borrowed a CSS string from W3 schools, show me where I cited that source. Okay, so I'll go into the process of PHP and basically this code was adapted from a tutorial provided by my lecturer Dexter Chinyan for educational purposes. So basically this part here just make sure the outer is not empty. Check the files in the error. The reason this works is because in a form on the action it goes to PHP folder and the process.php file. And the implied multi-part form data. This is so that I can upload the images, which would be files, which is why I have to use this method here, the associatory. This is an associatory of items uploaded to the current script via the HTTP post method. The files, the avatar name. If it's not there, then photos required will be displayed. Then this image variable here uses a timestamp and then an underscore and then stores the file. And this move upload file basically takes the file to the attack, gives a temporary name, and stores it in the image folder. Dot image the variable. So this piece of code here just make sure that the photography interest is not empty either. If it is, it'll please accent to select an interest. These variables store the various data from fields, the first name, last name, email, phone, photography interest. This SQL query turns the data into a database, turns it into numbers and all the columns, and then the values and time would be the ones stored in these variables right here. Right here. Once that, then it's just to run this query. So I use MySQL underscore query and connect to database, then run the query right here. After that's done, I use the header to change the location back to the index. The page contains should be your home page and exit. So that's basically what everything on this page does. Okay, so now I'll show you the CSS strip. Yeah, if I go in, I get on. This is my citation, and well, basically went to W3 schools, and I got how to figure out about the display flex and justify self flex end. So I added my button to be on the head of the header page. Because before it was taking up the whole space, so now it's beside the button and it's on the end. So that's the CSS trick that I use for that. Okay, so next is a spot change. If I wanted to change the background color of the whole website to light gray, which file would I edit and what kind of code would I add? Well, if I wanted to change the entire background of the website to light gray, I'll go into the styles.css file. I'll go into my body selector, and here I'll just go into set on background color and change that to So once I come here, I'll type in my background color and change that to light gray. And once I save that, my background in the database should change. Hmm, doesn't seem to have changed. See that we coming in, close to website and come back in to the local host. And we go on page, and you'll see the background color change to light gray on all my web pages. Gallery, contact us, even the post view page as well as the sign up page. So my background color has changed. So next one will be avatar. You want to see how I handle the member avatar? Is the image itself stored in the database or just the file path? And to explain my reasoning. Well, if you come back here, I'm going to process a PHP file. You see into this section here where you upload the file, we upload in the image location. So you're storing it in the image folder down the image. We would use the image variable, which would hold the timestamp plus the underscore and the file name. So that when it gets transferred into our image folder, it'll look like this with the timestamp underscore and the image name. All the username images. That is how they'll appear in the image folder. So just uploads the image location, not the image itself. The reason I did it this way was to keep the database light and because it was the method I was most familiar with. Uh, and that is basically it. Other than anything else, just wanted the database to be light to keep moving well as fast as possible. So I will upload the image since I'll slow on the database due to image size. Uploading file location would be easier, easier, faster, and less resource heavy on the database. And that's basically it. The next part, the next one is another on the spot edit. They want the contact us form to have a subject field, and which field would I open, which file would I open, and what code would I add to make the field appear. Well, for that, I'll go into the contact pages file, and here I'll add a label for the subject field, and that will be subject. Close that off, and then in an input, I'll type in, oh, my bad. Oh, in this here, I'll just switch that. Input type be text, ID would be subject, name would be subject as well. It would be required. I can add a placeholder. Type in subject for that placeholder. So once I do this, and oops, hang on, no, then saving this, and I go back into the database. Okay, so now my contact form looks like this. So this is new because I use a display grid and separate it into two columns. So the subject, the label get split up here, and then the field will come down here. So to get these two in the same place, I'm going back into my code and I'm surrounding them in div tags. So I open div and I close div. Once I save, and come back here, and I control R and done. So this would be the end of my demonstration video. Thank you for watching and have a good day.